All right. Let's see. I just got to make sure all of my whatever is working. So bear with me. Hopefully, my audio is okay. Make sure. All right. Hopefully, everything is good with the audio. Let's see. All right. Well, all right. So, I mean, I started right on time. I said 11 o'clock and it's 11:01. But hello, if you're tuning in live, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Hi. Hi, Mom. My name is Alana. I'm tuning in from lovely and very hot and humid Brooklyn, New York. And I run AJF Design Studio. And I figured, I really would love to do a little bit of live streaming today. I have not been able to connect with you guys live or just do a lot of live streaming on my own platform. And I figured we just passed 2,000 subscribers. So I'm like, now would be a great time to get to know everybody and just to sort of share a little bit of my work, especially since I'm a freelancer. I work from home, so I don't really get to interact with coworkers in the traditional sense. So hopefully you're out there and creating alongside me. Or if you're catching the replay, this will give you some nice insight into my lettering process in Adobe Fresco, which is what I'm going to be using for the stream today. So yeah, while I'm working, I'll be able to see the chat. So um, yeah, feel free to drop in any questions that you may have. But yeah, oh hello, howdy. Thank you so much for joining. And oh, lovely little. Thank you so much for 2,000 subscribers. Thank you everyone for your support. Yeah, I'm super excited and like happy to have everyone joining in. Um, Feel free to post in the chat where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know. um, but yeah, we're going to be getting into some work, and this is just going to be like super chill. So, relax. Hopefully, you've got something going for yourself. But if you just want to hang out and watch me work, that's totally fine too. So, I'm just going to waste no time and just like hop right in. Um, oh, nice. Indiana. I've never been. Very cool. So I'm just starting in Adobe Fresco. I'm in Westchester. That's where I grew up. Shout out to Westchester. I'm just in Adobe Fresco. The only thing that I have prompted for myself is that I'm going to be lettering the phrase out of office because I've been feeling very strongly that I need a little bit of a vacation. So let me know if you can feel that vibe because it's summertime. So I really like the idea of, taking some time for myself and relaxing. So last year, actually, I created a nice little out of office graphic. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do this every summer and create a little out of office graphic send out to my clients, to put in my email, to put on social media so people know I will not be available for a certain amount of time. So yeah, let's just jump right in. So usually whenever I'm given a prompt, whether it's self-initiated or it's from a client, I sometimes will have a stylistic direction. So maybe they'll give me references and I'll definitely have the wording that they want me to letter. So since this is completely self initiated, I'll just be, freestyling in my head and just sort of getting whatever ideas I get. But also, if you guys have any suggestions as we go along, feel free to, to let me know. Um, I'm just going to double check that I don't have anything else going? Oh my goodness, I have so many chats. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to manage 2 chats right now. Thank you so much for tuning in. On Behance, Stacy, Bliss Art is here, Eva's here. Oh, thank you so much. Got some compliments on my background wall, my mural, and my I have some decorative postcards. If I usually will just take postcards from restaurants, wherever I am, and I'll just put them on my wall. Hi, everyone. I'm just gonna put a little hello in the chat. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. So yeah, I'm just gonna start. I always so since this is a square, it's gonna be a square graphic. I don't trouble myself with trying to create a perfect square myself. I just use the drawing aids. So the drawing aids are your friend in Adobe Fresco. So I just pull up my square and I just trace around, and then boom, I have an instant square. No fuss, no problems. So I have the chat split between Behance and YouTube, so I can see both. So if you guys have questions in either, I'll be able to check them out. So thank you so much. Oh, thanks, Stacy, for hopping over to to YouTube. Um, but yeah, so I just like to start on a just a little thumbnail sized canvas so that I don't have to worry about making everything super, exact and big to start out. Starting with just a basic pencil brush, nothing fancy. And I'm just going to start, playing around with the composition a little bit. So this phase is always like super rough, super like not not refined at all. Um, so I always like to reiterate for anyone who might be uh I don't know, who might get down on themselves like so early and be like, "Oh my goodness, like my sketches aren't perfect to start," or something. Like it's just like it's not supposed to look like anything special. So, no worries. So, I'm thinking in terms of like visual hierarchy, the word of will be the smallest. I really like doing 3-word compositions. They don't usually happen. So if I know that I'm doing like a stream or I'm like doing something that's meant to be a little bit quick, I will I will just do a 3-word composition because they're like pretty easy to do the hierarchy for, and it's pretty quick and fun. So mostly just focusing on my hierarchy right now, and then we'll start exploring some other stuff. What's everyone like up to right now? Is everyone like chilling at home? People on vacation, maybe you guys are out of office right now. So maybe this message hits different. But I'm just like, yeah, I need a vacation. Been so thankfully busy. I'm always grateful to be busy with client work and people who want to work with me and stuff like that, or chat with me on their podcast or whatever. But it can be a lot if we don't take breaks for ourselves. So I'm like, let this be a little reminder for you, but it's a reminder for me as well. Ooh, Bliss Art says that they're good and it's plenty hot there in Maryland. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, yeah. Oh, nice. On summer break. Oh, thanks so much, Stacy, for tuning in. Um, oh, and on summer break. Nice. Let's see. Out of office, picking up a new book. Ooh, what are you reading? I really need book suggestions. Um, I've been so lacking, I guess, on the literary sense. I usually take books for reference, I think, visual reference rather than actually being able to sit down and like read for pleasure. So I'm telling Bliss over in Behance I've got family in Maryland, so I totally know. I know how hot it can get down there. So my first composition or my first iteration is usually nothing like super spectacular. So I'm just going to move over, start a new square. And I always like to lock that layer. Oh, geez. I like to lock the layer just so I don't accidentally write on it. So I did a pretty straight, basic composition for the first one. I'm really like to play with shapes, so and containers. So lately, I've been doing a lot of client work where I'm just like, I can sort of do what I want, which is nice, which has allowed me to experiment a lot. But it's pushed me a lot, I think, in my lettering. So I'm gonna try and see how a little bit of let's try a little arc or something. This is really a good way to just sort of get a feel for your lettering so that you don't have to, it's harder to imagine it. So I like to just draw it out for myself so I'm not just freaking out. So let's see. So these will be like little containers for the words out and office, and then of will just be in the middle. So let's see. Oop, let's see. Oh, nice. My mom's on summer break, guys. She's going to Cape Cod. That'll be fun. Okay, let me start sketching this out. Oh my goodness. Wow. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know when you jumped in on the stream, but whenever and wherever your presence is appreciated. I'm just like, I'll just try this out and see what happens. And if no one shows up, that's fine. I'll still have plenty of stuff to share with everyone after the fact on the replay. So I really appreciate everyone who is taking the time to hang out with me for a little bit because it's cool. Mm. Oh, nice. Bliss says they've been learning hand lettering in a committed way. So I'm happy to see your process again. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. It's been an interesting journey and an interesting time. Yeah. Getting my process down and sort of thinking about my process more. Um, so yeah, it's nice being able to share it in a way that I'm just like, okay, I think I could explain this in a way that people could follow along, which is nice. If you happen to hear any background noise, I live on a busy street. I'm sorry. And also, my air conditioning is going off, which I am thankful for on this hot summer day. So, all right. So, we're not going to freak out. I'm running out of a little bit of space here. But the great thing about lettering digitally is that we can just squish stuff around and just sort of adjust. So, that actually wasn't too bad. Not too bad at all. All right. Stacy says, this one's called An Elegant Hand, a calligraphy class referral difficult to get my hands on. Rare bookstore in Delaware had it. Oh, wow. Nice. I mean, I don't know if anyone can relate, but I can definitely relate to wanting to find a book or just like a resource or something and I can't find it. So shout out to rare bookstores in Delaware. Very good. Very cool. Um, Okay, so then once I turn off my little layer of containers, then I kind of can see this sort of taking a little bit of shape here. I think that I could probably push out a little bit more. You could see the shape forming more obviously for office, but not so much for out. So I think I'm just going to adjust that a little bit. Oh, nice, Bliss. I I shared a series of books that I like for lettering. I have so many. There are so many books that I have, and I shared, I think, about 6 of them. So Bliss picked some of them up. So I'm glad that you were able to grab those, and hopefully you're finding them helpful as you're committing to your hand lettering more. I still grab a lot of books, and I think mostly digital resources nowadays because I don't have like all the space in my apartment to put all of my books and stuff. But I always appreciate a great book with especially with great like examples and visual references because I mean beginner, intermediate, professional, whatever, like just being able to see other people's process or like learn from other people is always like such a great thing that I appreciate. So I'm like, I will recommend books till forever. Mhm. Let's see. Stacy says my bookcase is struggling to contain all the books. I mean, the struggle is real. Shout out to everyone's bookcases, or if it's not a bookcase and they're just on the floor, maybe I'm talking about myself, maybe not. But I can definitely relate to, yeah, they're out there. Don't really have the space, but the love is strong for my book collection. All right, so you can see just a little adjustment there. I think it's got a little bit more shape to that first word. But again, we're not like super worried about like making it super perfect, just getting a basic idea. Um, this first one was just to get my hand warm, getting it out there straight. The problem or the trick, I guess, is because out is such a short word and office is a longer word. So it'll be interesting to see how we sort of get ourselves around that sort of idea. uh, got a comment from Bliss Art. I've come to the oh oh wait, I've come to the understanding that it's really something you have to do in order to really learn it. No, it's true. Like that's probably true for a lot of different things too. Um, Probably for I don't know any number of disciplines, probably, but it really is one of those things where it's like, yeah, if I'm not practicing a little bit actively, I can kind of lose a little bit of oh yes, um I can lose a little bit of the magic, I guess, that I had going and the momentum. So I got to make sure that I'm practicing. But now I kind of cheat and I say like, oh my, when I work and when I get commissioned, it's practice. But it's just like, but are you trying new styles? Am I, doing new things? And probably not so much. It's just like you're sort of confined to whatever the client brief says. So you're not always stretching your skills so much. Sometimes you just sort of become known for certain styles that you might like to do. So you might not necessarily have to push yourself through client work. So I find it necessary, I guess, to sort of check in with myself in that way and be like, all right, have we sort of, stuck to certain things or certain styles and certain, you know, just doing things a certain way, I guess. Um, uh, I've also come to this is from Bliss Art also. I've also come to understand that I don't really care for one of the more popular styles. That style is sort of wonky looking where the tails of some letters are lower, like the A for instance. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Yeah, it's like yeah, maybe you all notice that there are sort of a lot of popular trending styles maybe that you see in a lot of people's work. Um, and you don't necessarily have to like it. Just like, I think it's interesting. It's just like the only way we're going to figure out what we like to do is by doing the things that we like. So it's just like, well, how do you know that you don't like that if you don't try it or something like that? So uh, that's good observation as well. Uh, and just sort of exposing yourself as much as possible to, you know, other work, other references, and, also I made a video sometime last year. It's one of my older videos about like ways that you can practice your lettering for free. And I think it was one of them was to just go outside and just take a walk and see what kind of lettering styles you see, like on building signs or, flyers outside or stuff like that. Which it sounds kind of silly, but it really helps actually. Just sort of use your observation to just sort of see, what kind of styles are out there. And sometimes, they're not great. Sometimes the signs don't look great. But sometimes they might spark your eye and might inspire you to create something. You never know. do, do, do. I think when I first started out, I think I was always doing what was it? Always doing some sort of script style or something like that. I was just like addicted to drawing and script, I think. Oh, Aida is joining us from Canada. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Very cool. I've been to where was I? I went to Vancouver some years ago for a design conference and it was lovely. Everyone was so nice. Um, it was a beautiful place. I loved it. Hmm. Do I like where this is going? It's just like asking myself questions. Sort of interesting. There's a lot of space between the first line and the second line, but I've got some interesting sort of choices to make, I guess. I could bring them a little bit closer. I could bring of a little bit closer to out. I'm sort of de-emphasizing of again because it's like not what I want people to like immediately see. So I think lettering or just like, especially when it's just like lettering, drawing, especially when you have to just like have a composition, have sort of things sort of gel together. You have a lot of decisions to make. It's sort of interesting. I think. All right, you guys are going to come on this ride with me. I'm going to try some weird things because this is what happens sometimes. I think to myself, I'm like, what if I did that? So I'll just duplicate my lettering and just sort of start getting a little bit weird. So you guys are going to see it in real time because this is how my brain works. Bliss said, I wanted to like it, referring to the some of the more popular styles, but I think it's something about me that just makes it difficult for me to execute. It gives me the blues to practice. Oh, I know, definitely. I feel that way about certain styles as well. I feel that way about like black letter styles, like just certain things or like yeah, I don't know. Definitely I definitely get the blues practicing certain styles because 'cause I'm just like, that is just so out of my zone of genius, out of my comfort zone. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, you can see me doing something weird. I'm basically trying to figure out a way to fill in some of the negative space between the first line and where office is. But all I had to do was try it. I tried it once and I saw it and I don't like it. So all I have to do is just click that off and now I'm back to where I was before. Sometimes it just takes trying the thing to know that you don't want to do it. So, no problems, no pressure. I could also, while I said I don't want to emphasize the word of, I could make the decision to, instead of having of in this like very odd script style here where the F is descending kind of low like that, I could just make it a sans serif style instead so that I don't have to worry about it sort of dipping low like that. And then maybe we could see what it looks like in like a little container. And maybe because it's summer themed, maybe the container could become a sun and be on theme. Look at me being super experimental and weird. It's like one of the fun things about creating for yourself and being the person to initiate your creative prompts is you really get to do whatever you want. So go to the weird places, try out those things because, like I said, with client projects, you got to follow the brief. So you're kind of beholden to what it is that they want to see, um, which can sometimes be okay or sometimes be a kind of a bummer. But shout out to everyone. Bliss says, I like the direction the sun weirdness, the quote unquote weirdness is going in. I like it too, kind of. We kind of find it as we go along, right? Um, and yeah, this is like, I mean, it's like, this is really kind of how it goes for me. I'm just like, it's not super polished or interesting. It's just me trying things out. Sometimes I have more in mind, I guess, at the time of creation or before I start creating. And sometimes I just sort of find it as I go along. Um, just sort of like adding in some clouds or something. See other ways we could sort of fill in the composition and sort of go with this I'm on summer vacation vibe. Um, I'm also going to see how maybe minimizing. I think I'm losing too much. I might be losing too much height, maybe, in one of these areas if I reduce the height of office. So I'm going to cancel that for now and leave it that way. It's okay, cool. Yeah, maybe we could like add a little bit of like stuff at the bottom and be like, this is the sand or something. Like general idea, sand. I'm totally relaxing right now. Okay, so I guess I'm sort of going in a direction where I'm somewhat committing to this new thing that I'm doing. So we're taking the journey together, everyone. Again, if you're just joining in, thank you so much. If you've been here since the beginning, thank you very much. If you're catching the replay, hi. Again, I just figured I'd try this out, this whole live streaming thing. See if it was something that you guys were interested in, if it was something that I was interested in. And yeah, just sort of seeing where things take us, because yeah, I'm super grateful for the progress on the channel, and all the support that you guys have shown me. Like, I'm kind of out of my mind about it a little bit. We passed 2,000 subscribers, and specifically for the stream, I looked up how many subscribers I had this time last year, and I had just crossed about 100. So just to give you that perspective of, yeah, you guys supporting me does things. So thank you so much, for just, you know, allowing me to to teach essentially, to teach on my platform, to show tutorials and just sort of things that I like, and that I think everyone else likes too, I guess, because you guys keep tuning in. So thank you so much. If you're tuning in from Behance, if you're tuning in from YouTube, wherever you're tuning in from, super duper appreciate it. Okay, I do not like the way that loop looks. Okay, I do not like that. Okay, I don't like that. I started adding a little bit of the weight, on a separate layer because I don't want to mess up my my base foundation. Just trying some things. Um, let's see, maybe making Office a bit heavier. See what that does. We're about 30 minutes in. Another reason why I started, why I wanted to live stream, I was just like, I've been on Adobe Live before, like twice. Like, why am I not like live streaming on my own platforms? I'm just like, if you can live stream on massive platforms like that, you should be able to to find the courage to do it on your own platform. So that was sort of the logic behind it, I think, as well. Because I've been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of new things that I'm like really excited about, but like also like scared. I've got some stuff coming out later this year that I'm really excited to tell you guys about and share with you all. Um, so yeah, it's all about doing things, even though it's kind of scary. So if you have recently done something that you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm kind of scared," but then you did it and it wasn't so bad, let me know because I would love to know what you guys are trying, what how you guys are pushing yourself if you are. um, well, I have a I have a speaking I have a speaking engagement that I was invited to. Not sure if you guys have heard about it, but it's called the Typism Summit. And if you haven't already gotten your ticket, one, if you're watching the replay, I can't guarantee that your ticket will still be free. But at the time of this live stream, it is free. You can go to, I'll put it in the chat. It's typismsummit.com, and you can get your free ticket. There are over 26 lettering artists speaking, and I am one of them. I'm going to be talking about finding and aligning your voice, your artistic voice as a lettering artist. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a live Q&A with each of the speakers, so you can ask them questions after they are done with their presentations. And yeah, it's really designed specifically with lettering artists in mind, so that you guys can get better with your skills, get better at, running a business, that's based on lettering. Um, and yeah, just I I urge you to tune in because I'm going to be exposing some of the mistakes that I made. early on so that you guys don't make the same ones. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope that you guys can attend. It's 3 days, so July 27th through the 29th. Um, and yeah, I don't know my exact schedule yet, but if you are subscribed to my newsletter, you will be the first to know. um, if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, I highly suggest you subscribe to my newsletter. I do all my announcements there. I'm going to have some great things that I'm announcing that I can't talk about right now that I'm it's so hard not being able to talk about projects um about certain projects until they're ready to be revealed, but in any sense, there's a lot going on. But yeah, if you are part of my newsletter community, you will be among the first to be informed. So check that out. Okay. While I was talking a lot, I did some weird stuff. I added a whole bunch of weight to this word out. I added some weight to office and some weight to of. I don't think out needs to be quite that heavy. So what are we gonna do? I guess I'll just adjust it. I really love like monoline script. It's really nice because I don't know, it can look casual, it can look, kind of fancy. So I really like monoline script, but I don't think I need to make that quite that heavy. Doop, doop, doop. Making sure I don't miss any chats. All right, I'm going to zoom myself out for a moment. Okay, so the good thing about always duplicating your work is that if you ever want to go back, you can just grab it and go back. So I'm pretty sure this is the direction I want to go in generally. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop working tiny and I'm going to scale this up because I'm going to move into my refined sketch phase. So this is what I do every time I'm moving into this stage of the drawing. I'll scale up my at one point tiny thumbnail and I'll scale it up to the size of my canvas. So that's why I like to make sure that um, my little thumbnail is the right ratio that I'm going to be working in for my final piece so that I don't really have to like adjust anything really. So again, the thumbnail sketch wasn't the focus about like being super duper beautiful and refined because that's what this part of the phase is for. So I'm just going to lower my opacity a bit and essentially make this like a digital tracing paper. And I'm just going to lock this layer, add a new layer on top, and I'm going to start building my guidelines because I cannot draw perfectly straight. I don't think I know anyone in the world who can. But if you know them, I'd love to interview them. So the ruler tool is your friend. It's just like the drawing guides. They're your friend. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. No problems. Okay. And then And it's like if your original sketch doesn't like line up perfectly with the guidelines that you're drawing, like it's totally fine because you're just going to fix it as you refine. It's like a lot of this stuff is sort of levitating a little bit, a little bit too much. So I'm like, okay, I need to adjust this, which is fine. All right. Oh, that's okay. Okay. Oh, and can't forget, I have a script style in here, so I can't forget to draw my guideline for my angle line. So again, like right about there would be good. So I know Stacy and maybe some of the other people tuning in are into calligraphy. So you guys know all about guidelines and angle lines and making sure that the direction of your script style is all leaning in the same angle. So that's what that's all about. So I've got my smoothing setting up to 100%. Um, this is to just take a little bit of the wobble out of the drawing. I always have a bit of wobble when I draw, so I don't have the most steady hands. So the smoothing tool always comes and rescues me. Stacy said, I know about them. Following them gets a little hairy sometimes. Yeah, I know. I've taken some great courses. There's a lettering artist named Ing Chang, um, and she is just amazing. Her courses are great. She teaches with a type at Cooper, and I took a script lettering course with her last year, and it was hard. I'm like, script is my favorite lettering style. Like, I want to do this. And I didn't do it using my iPad either. I was using just tracing paper and a pencil. And it was a 2 day course. And my hand was hurting. My hand was hurting afterwards. I was just like, oh my goodness, I have just done a bit of a workout, I think, for my hand because yeah, it was really hard. She's like, your lettering is drifting a little bit. It's not really following the right angle line. I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's just like you do it over and over again. And it's not quite right, but that's okay. That's why we practice. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like a lot. It I think it looks a lot easier than it actually is, maybe. But yes, I am again in the refined sketch phase. So this is just the way that I like to do it personally. I like to sketch using the pencil brush in Adobe Fresco, like do my thumbnail. And then when I scale up, I also like to do my refined sketch in pencil as well. Because I'm just like, well, my thumbnail sketch was pretty rough. So I'm like, okay, this will be a lot closer to what I'm looking for my final piece. So I like to do this part in pencil as well because I'm like, okay, still gives me a little bit of time to fix things up, and then I'll have a much closer set of lettering that's actually like more correct, like sitting on my guides correctly and everything for when I choose a nicer brush to sort of finalize everything in. I'm not sure if any of you guys tuning in have used Adobe Fresco very much, or if that's your program of choice, but it is certainly my program of choice. I have been using it pretty consistently for like the past year, and every time they keep improving it. I don't know if you guys have seen all the different updates. I try to do an update video on my channel as often as they have updates. Um, they've included some pretty cool things lately, like what is this? They have like the liquefy features and stuff like that. Maybe we'll get into that later or on another stream, but they've incorporated more and more like Photoshop features and stuff like that into Fresco, which is cool. So yeah, Bliss says, I love Adobe Fresco. Ooh, okay. Will you keep your guides when you go in with the different brush? Bliss asks. Um, yes, yes, I will. Sometimes I do find myself needing to redraw my guides sometimes. Like if for some reason it just starts to drift a little bit too far from whatever guides I have laid down, I have no problem with redrawing my guides. But if I can keep the guides that I've drawn, I like to keep them. Mm. Oh, hello. Mocha is in the chat on Behance. Hello. Hi. For tuning in. Yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah, and Bliss says, and with the summer 2022 brushes with motion, there's plenty to explore. Yeah, right. Like Adobe Fresco has so much, has so much going on. Pretty much, I think as soon as they introduced motion last year at Adobe Max, it's been like just hitting the ground running with just like phenomenal updates. I think so. Plenty to explore. Exactly, as Bliss said, kind of no shortage of fun to be had. And if I can give you guys a little sneak peek, there's plenty more coming. I get to beta test for them and for the Fresco app, so they work tirelessly behind the scenes and are listening to your suggestions and feedback. So if you have features that you want to see, use the in-app suggestion features. Um, and yeah, get your suggestions out there because they're definitely listening. All right. Oh, Bliss said, I wish I could be a beta tester. Yeah, I was just like, wow, this is so cool. Um, if I'm being honest, I was able to do it through attending their Adobe Max session last year. They had an open call for it. So Adobe Max is coming back. It'll be virtual and free and in person um, this coming October. I think tickets just went on sale, but if you can't make it out to California, you can tune in. Oh, Annika is in the chat. Hello. Oh, nice, nice. Oh, Mocha said, I was wondering if your favorite brush is the pencil. I also love the work so far. Oh, thanks, Mocha. Yeah, hands down for sketching, pencil brush is my favorite all the way. Also, sometimes I find myself doing my final artwork in pencil sometimes just because the texture is so lovely. Like it's just amazing. And yes, we have one of the speakers at Adobe Max in the chat. Annika is here. She goes live on Adobe often. She hosts a lot of their programs. She is just so connected and in the community, is going live on Behance all the time. So super, super excited to have you in the chat, Annika. Thank you so much for tuning in. And it's like Annika would always go live on Behance, like I feel like multiple times a week, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, how does she do that?" Like she's like she just does it. She's like so fearless. So you definitely you inspire me, Annika. And it's like I've been watching I've been watching you go live and stuff. So I'm just like, yeah, I can do it. But yeah, I don't know if anyone is gonna join in person uh, to Adobe Max, but I've only heard good things. Okay, I'm doing like a little duplication there. One of these didn't line up quite right, so I'm just gonna move this. The lasso tool is like my saving grace because I can just rope around any selection and just move it however I like. So it is fantastic. Then I'm just going to merge these together so everything is on one layer. I'm going to wait to merge that. Bliss said, there will be people who attend Adobe Max in person. I just won't be one of them. Yeah, no, it's totally cool. I'm just like, I don't know that I'll be one of them either, but I'm happy that they're keeping the virtual as an option for the rest of us cool kids. Because yeah, there's just so much fun to have, and there's so many awesome sessions. You can still watch the sessions from last year, even. So, ooh, ooh, Bliss, I didn't even know that they're having a giveaway of a pass to Adobe Max. Oh wow. Yeah, I know. It's a big investment, definitely. Doing conferences and stuff like that. I've uh I've spoken to people and they're like, if there's conferences, that you want to attend, just budget for it at the beginning of your year, just set aside some funds, maybe each month or whatever, just put it as a line item in your, for your business as an expense. Which I'm just like, that's a really good idea that I wish that I had before a few months until the conference starts. But who knows? Because of course they have early bird pricing, but then the prices will go up. So we'll see. All right, we're going to turn off these guides for a second and we're going to turn off this. All right, so this is our refined sketch scaled up. We've got our little sunshine going. I'm going to use my lasso tool again and isolate the word office. I'm just going to cut that really quickly and paste it over there. I'm also going to lasso around the word of. That's a really good question, Bliss, because I was planning on only streaming for an hour today. And we've almost eaten up the whole hour. I'm just like, who knows what'll happen? I'm just like, oh, I know an hour is not a lot of time for lettering, but I wasn't sure how fast it would feel it was going. But you guys have been such a lovely company. I've just been talking and just da 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 da. I'm just like, wow, I've gotten not far at all. Um, but but I know Annika's like, what is time exactly? I feel the same way because I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Maybe that's a sign to keep going. I mean, if you guys want to hang out with me for like, a little bit longer, I totally am like open to that because I have got a little bit more time today than I would have say on like yesterday or something. I was like going crazy yesterday. So yeah, if you guys want to chill with me for like an extra, I don't know, half an hour or something, I am not opposed to hanging out for a little bit longer. So we'll just play it by ear. So I'm having a little issue and I'm gonna try and do something, which is a lovely thing with digital art. Um, I'm just gonna like lower this a little bit because Office is clashing with the little rays of my sun and I don't want it to touch. So I was just like, okay. So if you're ever in your transform tool, there's this little, I don't even know what they call it, but you can just very precisely move the distance of your objects. So I'm just tapping a little bit to just give myself a little bit more space. Um, and I guess this is also part of why I like to start the refinement phase still in pencil, because I'm just like, it's still kind of experimental. We're still figuring things out. So it still feels kind of non committal and and a little rough, so it's totally fine. It's like jazz. Just kind of improvise, go with the flow. Ooh, fine. Oh, that's totally great. Yeah, listening and lurking. Yeah, I love tuning into streams because, like I said, I'm like I don't have any coworkers, so I'm like people who stream on like Adobe Live and do stuff like that are my virtual coworkers. So I'm still thinking, do I want to make Office a bit heavier than it is right now? Um, and I'll give it a try. There's no harm in trying since we've now committed officially to sticking on the stream for a little bit longer. So um, sort of cheat way. Okay, there's a few ways you could do it, right? You could do duplicating the layer and shifting it over a bit. Give yourself sort of an idea, at least for the stems, what a little bit of thickness would look like, and then I'll do the cross strokes a little bit thicker. Ooh, lovely. Ooh, okay. Well, thanks for tuning in, Bliss. I mean, hopefully, maybe we'll still be here when you come back, or if you choose to come back. But enjoy picking up your package. They ordered some drawing pencils and watercolor paper. Ooh, I love a good art supply package pickup. That's awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, what was the last art supplies that I got? And I think it was some. I got some oil based pens or something, or markers or something. Oh, awesome, Bliss. Yeah, hopefully we'll still be around. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been awesome chatting with you. But yeah, I think I got some oil-based markers because I'd never tried them before, and I wanted to um, do some customization on what was it, like wood or something? And I was just like, what kind of marker? I was like Googling. I'm like, what kind of markers can you use wood on and all this stuff? They're like oil-based paint markers, and I was just like, okay, that's very specific. So I got some of those, and they are very permanent. They're like, they will not come off, and they were right. So if you happen to use oil-based paint markers, know that they most likely won't come off. I guess maybe if you use rubbing alcohol, it'll come off maybe, but I'm not sure. I am certainly not sure. Let's see, let's see. So yeah, again, I'm just sort of exploring the idea of making Office a little bit bigger because there's, a few ways to establish hierarchy visually. You could do it with the sizes of the words. So I'm de-emphasizing of obviously because it's like not an important word. And then like emphasizing your other words with their scale. But also you could, just do the treatment of the letters differently. So out is sort of stylized differently than office is, which sort of gives you a little bit of dynamicism, I guess, visually, and is also a way of just sort of drawing your eyes to different things. So you can kind of play with it how you like. Oh, hello, Kenneth Davis. Thank you for tuning in. That looks almost charcoal in style. Yeah, right. Like the pencil brush is so good. Like this is a Adobe Fresco that I'm working in, and yeah, the pencil brush is like my favorite to sketch in and to do these kinds of refined sketches in because yeah, it's just fun. The texture that they're able to achieve in this thing is kind of unreal to me. So I'm just like, wow, that's pretty cool. Oh, and Bliss was in the chat earlier. They mentioned, I'm pretty sure, okay, let's check now. I'm pretty sure Kyle's new brushes are out. Okay, they're not in the app yet, but they might be out online. The summer 2022 brush pack might be out online for download. He always does his seasonal brush packs, which are free to download for Fresco users, and you can also use them in Photoshop as well, which is double the mileage you get out of those brushes. So pretty cool, pretty awesome that he is always just releasing new brushes for us to play with. So I've added some weight to this, and I'm just going to use my lasso tool here to just correct some spacing issues. So give me a better idea. I'm just going to lasso around this F, and I'm just going to use this arrow, just sort of tap around, see what's going on. All right, I got the I and the F are a little too close. They're a little too friendly, so I'm going to tap around again with the transform tool. And honestly, the C and the E are a bit close too. So maybe what we'll end up doing is, let's see if I could just move the E a bit over. So you can see this is just kind of freestyling it. Nothing super crazy. It's totally fine to go back and just correct your spacing, sort of see how things are looking, assess, and just like adjust as you go along. I think it only really breaks my heart when I get so far into a piece and I'm just like, something about this just isn't working. And then I'm like, and then I'm just like distraught or something. And I'm just like, oh gosh, I've already sunk so much time into this. But yeah. Not sure if you're still here, but where are you tuning in from, Kenneth? I'm also not sure where you're tuning in from, Mocha. I'm not sure if you put it already, but if you're still in the chat. But yeah, we've got Canada, we've had Indiana, Delaware, Westchester, and I'm in Brooklyn. I'm not sure if it's hot where you are, but it's certainly hot where I am. And I'm, oh, Houston area, nice. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, so I don't have to tell you guys about hot. Yeah, I'm just like, it's been a bit uncomfortable. Just a smidge. Yeah, I'm just sort of rounding out this O. Unless it's wet. Ooh, humid. Yeah, that's the part I don't like. It's just like heat is one thing, but the humidity. My goodness. That'll take you from this can be fixed with ice cream to I am ice cream. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just rounding out my O because I'm weird. Sometimes I'm guilty of sometimes the tops and the bottoms of my O's can be kind of flat when they're supposed to be more rounded. So I adjusted the height of this so my guidelines aren't like exact um, at the moment. So actually maybe I'll just sort of adjust this, but the general consensus and general idea is that the tops and bottoms of the rounded letters are just supposed to peak just a little bit over and just a little bit below your guidelines. So I don't want my O or my C to kind of look like a flat tire, so I'm just kind of rounding out a bit, seeing how it goes. It's part of the refinement process, a necessary evil. Oh, thank you, Annika. Yeah, I'm like guides are my best friend. Honestly, I think um the first ever video that I posted on my YouTube channel was like how to draw guides for lettering, I think. Yeah. Um because without my guides, I don't know where things are or how things are supposed to fall. And it's like, yeah, my eye is better than it was when I first started in terms of being able to perceive, this looks kind of okay and this looks kind of weird. Um, but, it's always good to double check ourselves, see what's what. And if you need to adjust, it's totally fine. I don't know if anyone's working on anything themselves today. Yes, Kenneth, it's still available on YouTube. Yeah. Um, it actually, since it was my first video, it it may have been just like a short video, maybe like 2 minutes or something. I don't even know. But if it's a topic that you'd like me to revisit, I will definitely, I can definitely make a more expanded video on the topic if you'd like. I'm always looking for, I'm still looking for suggestions all the time from the community, from what you guys want to see from me, because I'm just always, well, not one person can come up with all the ideas all the time, I guess. Sometimes I'm just like, I really hit a wall creatively. I don't know what to do. It's just like, maybe. Ooh, Mocha, that's a great question. Do you stream often? This is something that I would like to make regular. Oh, thanks, Kenneth. Yeah, my YouTube link is in my Behance profile. Oh, thank you, Mocha. Yeah, I would love to stream more regularly. If I just figured, I'm just like, I'll give it a try. It's something that I've always wanted to try. I'm just like, if people actually enjoy it and tune in and are learning a bunch, I would love to stream more regularly, like maybe even like on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, schedule permitting. So, yeah, I could totally jump back on stream and just see how these things sort of develop. Ew, let me not do that. So yeah, again, just sort of refining some of these fuzzier areas. Part of Oh, thank you, Kenneth, for saying you'll subscribe to the to my channel. Thank you so much. Yeah, well, we just passed 2,000, but then before I knew it, we passed 2,100. So I was just like, the the support is real, and thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Whether you're tuning in live, whether you're catching the replays, like everyone's support is just lovely. So love hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much, Kenneth. Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. I told everyone at the beginning of the stream this time last year I had about a little over 100 subscribers. So um, yeah, if you're I don't know if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, it's not too late. Just know that it's not too late to get started on whatever you want to do, really. So yeah, I'm just sort of fixing this up. All right. All right, all right. And then out. What are we going to do with out? What are we going to do with you? All right. A little cheat that I like to do. It's not really a cheat, I guess, but sometimes if I want to um, darken a word or darken a certain area, I'll just duplicate it. Like you see how much darker that gets. So you're not like filling in for like God knows how long. Um, I'll just duplicate it so it's a lot darker and nicer. Um, but at this moment, that doesn't super concern me. But um, and then in terms of like thinking about refining your lettering or refining refining your work, I guess it's also a matter of, oh, thank you, Mocha. I like how it's so clean. Oh yeah. I'm just like, this is a pretty decent outcome for this stage, I think. We are refining, so as we go, it'll look a lot cleaner. If you want, I can remind you how rough the thumbnail sketch looked. But as you continue and work on the piece, it'll become hopefully more and more clean and refined and everything. But as I'm thinking about refining this as well, I'm also thinking about like these ends of my strokes as well. So like the pencil brush has a like a a rounded end to it. So it's just like naturally rounded like that. So I'm thinking for consistency, I should probably chop these ends off, just sort of make it nice and sharp so it kind of looks more stylistically in line with the rest of the lettering that I've drawn as well. It's just like a little thing that you can do to just sort of make things look a little bit more consistent, a little bit more clean. Um, and like everybody is speaking the same language, I guess, in a way. Now, this is by no means like a hard and fast rule. You can do whatever you want, however you want. But it's just something that I like to think about when I'm working because I'm like, huh, that could probably look a little bit wonky, I guess, weird, wonky, out of place, um, if we're not considering multiple aspects, I guess, of our lettering. So just a little sneak peek into all the things that go on in my brain a little bit while I'm creating. Oh yeah, Mocha. Yeah, take whatever tips you like. Yeah, it's cool because it's just like everyone has things the way they like to do them, and you don't have to take everything that everyone says, to heart, or you don't have to use any of what people say. You can just do whatever you want. But if you do find something useful, it's always nice to take the tip and incorporate it into whatever you do next. This is looking a little strange. So I don't know why this crossbar for this T is looking a little strange to me. I'm just going to straighten it out. I have my line straightening enabled on Fresco so that I can get a nice straight line if I hold my pen tip in place. If you don't have that setting enabled, you can go to the app settings to enable it. That looks really thick now. Okay, sorry, that just looked a little too thick to me. So I just have to fix that. But yeah, having little things like line straightening enabled, having using the drawing aids, using the ruler. There are so many things built into the program that are just sort of designed to just help you out. Um, so you can go into your app settings. Let me see. I think it's under input. Yeah, it's called Snapline. So if you have this little Snapline feature enabled, you'll get a nice straight line uh, if you hold the end of your stroke as you draw. So yeah. Is anybody like jamming right now to some music? I don't have any music on, but while I'm working, I'm usually playing some music. I think everyone's listening to Beyonce right now. But I'm like, what else what else are people listening to while they work? I'm always looking for suggestions for my playlist because smooth jazz, nice. Kenneth said smooth jazz, yeah. Yeah, I like those lo-fi music channels. Those are always so good because it's just like, yeah, no lyrics, just super chill and like easy to just sort of throw on in the background. So it's not just like nothing. But but yeah, that is awesome. Kenneth says, I have an assortment on YouTube as playlists. Oh, nice. Mocha says, I use calming rain sounds or some piano. Oh, piano. Very nice. So classy. I love piano. Gosh, sounds so pretty. Um, Playing instruments. I played clarinet in was it like middle school or something? Middle school, high school, something like that. But yeah, I have not kept those musical talents for instruments. But the appreciation of music is always there. Um, okay. I'm thinking my one cloud looks weird, so I'm just gonna add like a few more clouds maybe. Maybe do I want to cover the sun with a few clouds? I don't know. Does that look weird? Just like trying to incorporate this in some way, like some other way, so it sort of fills out a little bit more, so it doesn't look so weird. Also, got some tension going there. Okay. Well, anyways, I could always fix that later. But this is more or less where we are. This very darkened and refined piece of lettering. Again, not perfect, but we're not there yet. Honestly, we're never going to reach perfection, so that's fine. But what we really just wanted was a nice, strong foundation that was more or less optically corrected, so that we could, you know, get some nice, clean lettering over it with a nicer brush. So let's see if we could take a little trip down memory lane really quickly. So we had this. So, okay, let me unlock this. So this is where we started, okay? This was our scaled up sketch. La di da, okay? And now we're refined, right? So like I said, don't worry if your thumbnail looks a little wonky or strange or rough or whatever or scrunchy and crunchy. I usually call them crunchy because they look pretty they look pretty weird. But yeah, you could always refine and clean things up in the following steps. So no worries at all. So, all right, we've got, yeah, Mocha, thank you. Very clean. Wow, so much improvement. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of improvement and still some improvement along the way. So, this by no means is our final destination, but we are getting closer with each step. So, got like got like 15 more minutes together, I think. So, let's see what we can do. So, I'm going to do the same process again, lowering the opacity of this layer. And Bliss, who was in the chat earlier, had asked me if I do my guides again. Yeah, I think I'm going to redo my guides because I don't think, actually, maybe I could just adjust these. These are actually pretty okay. It's not horrible. My E is a little tall, but I can adjust that as I draw. So maybe I could actually keep these guides. But sometimes I will redraw them, which is also fine. If you find that things sort of aren't aligning and it's throwing you off a little bit visually, feel free to redraw your guides if you'd like. Um, but yeah, like here, just a little bit short. But that's fine. No big deal. No big deal at all. Okay, cool. I guess I'll keep these guides. Wonderful. One less thing to do. So now we have to choose a brush. We have to choose a nice brush. So as you can see, I have a lot of favorited brushes, possibly too many. Can one have too many favorited brushes? Trick question. I guess not. Um, ooh, yeah, that's a good question, Kenneth. That's fine. But you lasso that E and reduce or just redraw. Yeah, I think because the E is just like a little too tall, I think I'm just gonna redraw on top of it. I don't think I'm gonna lasso around the sketch and adjust that size. I think that's a pretty simple fix to make. So I can just redraw that as I'm finalizing the lettering. I think that's okay. If it was a bigger sort of discrepancy or if it was something that was a little bit stranger, I would definitely lasso around it and like adjust it before I start making my final lettering on top. But I think in this case, I'll just leave it the way it is. So yeah, I gotta just choose a brush now, I guess. So a few of my favorites that I like to use are Comics Letterer, because I mean, look at how nice and dark that line is, right? Comics Letterer is really nice. I use that a lot. But honestly, I've been using some of these other ones a lot. I've been using Hard Round a lot as well, because you just get like a nice, you also get a nice dark line. Um, and yeah, you get nice, clean, straight lines from this. Comics Letter has a little bit more of a taper, I guess, to it, or just sort of like a flat irregularity to it. So yeah, it's just whatever you want. So you could do this however you like. You could trace around them. You could darken over the lettering, um, you know, just completely to just make a nice giant stroke. But I'll see how Comics Letter feels, and I'll adjust if I feel the need to adjust. I'm also going to help myself out a little bit and not draw the negative space in my O myself. I'm just going to duplicate it and scale it down, which is another little trick that I can do for myself so I'm not going crazy. Let's see, because this is all just one weight. My lines are not as great. I mean, when let me, yeah, like when I first started, I didn't have an iPad. Like I was doing everything by hand. Um, so, and honestly, doing things more away from the iPad is still good because, I like my little tips and tricks, but it's just like I don't always have my iPad. I don't always have access to my fanciful digital tools. Or what if my iPad dies? But oh, thank you, Annika, for tuning in. You have a great rest of the day as well. Um, just put that. um, Kenneth says I like the freehand and digital. Yeah, I think like there's definitely like room for both. I think both are great. Um, I think they're both super valuable and lovely forms of creation. I just find myself, I think, doing digital, especially for client work, just because it's faster and everything's going to end up digital anyway. But way back when, before I had my iPad, everything was tracing paper, taking pictures with my phone, and then, I mean, I would digitize it, I guess, in Photoshop, but I was doing everything, all the initial sketches and all of the refinements by hand. So I'm happy to have started by hand. I think uh, it's got its merit, definitely. Um, so okay, so I'm just gonna fill this in with the fill tool. So my color margin right now is pretty low. This is a dynamic slider, so I can just adjust this value, and you see how that fills in a lot nicer as the value gets higher. So, like I said, like lower value, you'll see like that white line, you'll see some gapping there. Not very pretty. So we're just gonna increase that, fill it in so it's nice and neat. Kenneth says, I work in digital signage, so I resort to digital and work freehand to enhance or be Picasso with the final looks. Yeah. Oh, very cool. Oh, digital signage. Oh, so wait, when you say, oh, so I'm sorry, could you like explain? Because I think that's interesting. Like, do you mean like, do you mean like, I don't know. Could you explain what you mean? I'm sorry. Because I'm thinking like neon signs, but I'm like, no, that's not digital. But that's cool. Signage. Yeah. When I was an intern. I started out as a graphic design intern way back when, and I was working for like an environmental design firm. So they did a lot of signage and that kind of thing. So I was really into environmental design for a while and wayfinding and stuff like that. So I like kind of became obsessed a little bit with stuff like that. And I worked in that sort of realm for a little while. Okay, guys, we've got like 5 more minutes. Let's let's see if we can get writing about pre-made lettering versus freely handed than I did. Oh, okay. Digital meaning I use writing I borrow pre-made lettering versus freely drawing and then I draw background. Okay, okay. Got it. Thank you for clarifying. Ooh, Stacy says, another vote for both. I start pencil, natural media, and end up digital most times. Yeah, definitely. I think there's room for both to coexist. And Mocha said, I mostly use digital because it's easier to draw for me. Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see. I can definitely see how it can be easier to do one over the other, or if you just like have a preference, and it's totally fine to have a preference. Um, okay, so I'm just like trying to make sure that I'm really following my guidelines and my angle lines because as we stated before, I think it's just like, huh, you draw your guidelines and it's just like, but do you follow them? Maybe not. But it's okay because we can always adjust later on. And okay, I'm going to try and do this a little bit quicker so I can get this first word out of the way, fill it in, and then I'll show you guys how I make some adjustments. Oh, Bliss is back. You're just in time for me to like finish this one word. But I didn't do the crossbar for my T. Silly. We were just talking about creating traditionally versus digitally, Bliss. If you want to weigh in. But I think all of us sort of see, oh, hmm, Kenneth, that is strange. But uh, I'll just give you my channel ID. Yeah, that should take you to my channel. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But okay, so this is where color margin is too high. That was a little too high. Okay, so I don't really have much leeway there. 83. Okay, dynamic slider is telling me don't go higher than this. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay, I've got like 2 minutes. So I have one word. I have one word. I did this in the comics letterer brush. And as I said, I want this to be mono weight for this script style. So usually I'll do this a little bit later, but just to sort of thanks, Bliss. Just to sort of check myself and check the that the weight is consistent. I'll just do like a little dot, just like around the weight of the letters. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Mocha. Thank you for subscribing, Kenneth. That really means a lot to me. And I'll just put them along the strokes and see if they are consistent in their weight. And as we can see, they're not. So I've got some more refining and a little bit more editing to do, but I just need like a little bit more width on the stem of my T, just a little bit more on my U. So this is just like a good way to sort of check yourself and to check your weights, especially if you're doing a mono weight script style like this, or this could work for any number of styles, sans serif, anything like that. So it's just like a little a little tip that I'm sure I'm borrowing from someone else. Is there ever a time, Liz says, is there ever a time you would let them really not be consistent? Oh, definitely. If it's honestly, it just really depends on the style or whatever look you're trying to achieve, right? So it's like sometimes the intent of the piece might be the irregularity, right? Like maybe that has some sort of deeper meaning to the piece itself. Like maybe you're lettering something about inconsistency or something, and you're using that as a vehicle for, yeah, exactly. Like kind of says like it depends on the client or the project, but if it's something self-initiated and you don't want the weights to be consistent, I said it's totally fine if you don't want to have everything be consistent, but make that choice. Don't I guess if it's an accident, it's okay. But if you're making that choice, you know, make that choice for yourself and then just sort of stick to it. But okay, we're at 12:31. So I'm just gonna take off this my screen share. But geez, this was so much fun. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for checking out what we've been working on. It's been such a lovely time hanging out with you guys, and we did it. We stayed even longer than I thought we would. So that's really awesome. Um, I think we'll do this again. Definitely, that would be great. I would super love to hang out with you guys more. And let me know if there's anything in particular that you'd like me to stream about or to talk about in a future video. I'm always up for suggestions from the community. My socials are in the description box below if you want to follow me. I'm pretty much everywhere. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and you guys have been absolutely lovely to stream with and to hang out with for this little bit of time today. So I hope everyone has a lovely rest of the day, evening, afternoon, whatever applies to you. But yeah, thank you so much. It's been great. All right, bye.